Hello everybody, Eliott5891 here with another KTANE module tutorial. This time we are covering perplexing wires. This is one I get asked for a lot. Just hadn't gotten around to actually doing it yet, but it's past time. So let's take a look at this one. For this module, we have this wonderful little grid over here. On the diffuser end, we've got 6 wires, always 6, connected to 6 plugs in the bottom, 4 plugs in the top. You've got a set of LED lights of various on-off states. There's just a lot here, and most of it is relevant to the module at hand. As the diffuser, your job is to give the expert the pieces of information they'll need to be able to fill out the Venn diagram. After you've done it a while, you'll probably know what those are, but if you're not familiar with it, what I would suggest is the expert prompt you for each of the 5 things that determine a color, or the 4 rather, that they can't figure out on their own. For convenience in naming things, tradition has, or the meta around this one, is to number the wires based on their lower plugs. This is wire 1, this is wire 3, this is wire 4, this is wire 6, and so on. So let's kind of do this as a back and forth. As the expert, I'm going to read off what I need per color, and then as the diffuser, I'll read off the information the way that kind of traditionally it gets given out. Okay, so as the expert, first I need the wire colors. So as the diffuser, we go over. Remember, we're reading them left to right based on this bottom strip. So my colors are black, black, orange, green, white, blue. Alright. Next piece of information. Orange is going to apply if the wire shares the same color as the arrow. Does the wire match the arrow? Black and purple, black and yellow, orange, green, green, red, white, red, blue, yellow. None of them. So none of them are going to fit this description. Next we go to this one. The wire star is black. So which ones go to a black star? Well, 1 does, 2 does, goes up to that other one, 3 does, and the others don't. So 1, 2, and 3 all go to a black star. So these go to black star, those don't. Next, green. The wire's position on the bottom is even. Well, since we're numbering based on where they are on the bottom, we know which ones are even. That's 2, 4, 6. Just which ones have even numbers. Last up, the wire crosses another wire. And the wording on this one, the definition, confuses people sometimes. A wire is crossing another wire if it's further to the left on the bottom and further to the right on the top. So, for example, if we look at my 2 black wires, wire 1 and wire 2, on the bottom, wire 1 is to the left, wire 2 is to the right. But up at the top, wire 2 is to the left, and wire 1 is to the right. So they've crossed over, since the one that was on the left is now on the right, the one that was on the right is now on the left. So that's what it means when it says something crosses. For the most part, just visual awareness lets you know. For this one, especially because this green one here, 1, 2, 3, and 4 all cross another one. Because notice the green one's on the right, but all of these are further right up here, even though this one's furthest left over here. So this green one crosses all 3 of these. So 1 through 4 cross. 5 and 6, that means straight lines, nothing's touching them. These do not cross. So 1 through 4 cross. Cross, 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 cross. That gives us the information we need as an expert for now. So, let's look again real quick what we got. The color of the wire, because it's unreasonable to expect someone to remember this list. And a lot of times the diffuser will just give all this information instead of prompt for it. Did the wire share the colors of the arrow? Did the wire go to a black star? This one we figured out on our own. Did the wire cross another wire? Those are my 5 conditions. Let's take the color of the wires themselves and go ahead and convert it to whether or not red applies. So it applies if the wire is red, yellow, blue, or white. So these kind of columns, this is my red column, this is my yellow column, I didn't have any oranges, this is my green column, this is my blue column. Alright, now that we know which conditions apply to which wires, we have to look them all up in the Venn diagram. So, let's do that. For the first one, we had black star and crossing, the yellow rule and the blue rule. Black star, crossing. So we need yellow and blue to intersect. Here's the blue, and we want the yellow as well, so that's this P. P, and we have another one that's black star and crosses, so we'll go ahead and mark it as P as well, because it's the same conditions. This one is black star even and crosses, so yellow, green, and blue rules. So here's blue, here's green, this squeezes yellow in, that's an F. This one is just green and blue rules. It was even and it crosses a wire, so green and blue. Green and blue is here, that's a Victor. This 5th wire was just the red condition. The color is red, yellow, blue, or white. So just looking for red in the Venn diagram. That's the I up here at the top. And then the last one, we have the red condition and the green condition. It was a blue wire, and it's even numbered. That is my red and green condition, so I do red and green. There we go. That's an F. So those are my letters. Last step, what do I do with these letters? Well, if I scroll down, I get instructions based on them. P means cut if its position at the bottom is equal to the number of ports. Okay, so we need edge work. How many ports did we have? 3. So we're going to cut the P wire only if its position at the bottom is equal to the number of ports. This was my first wire. Is 1 equal to the number of ports? No. So I know this is a do not cut. F. F is always cut the wire, but only cut it first. And we have 2 of those. We'll come back to that in a second. Here's another P. But again, P is cut if the position at the bottom equals number of ports. Number of ports is 3, but this is wire 3, so this one is a cut. Here's a V. V is cut the wire if the serial number has a vowel or the BOM has a USB port. USB port is a special port, extended, multiple widget mod. So we're not going to see that on any of them that I'm going to do. But we might have a serial number vowel, and in fact, in this case, we do. We have an echo. So this one's going to be a cut. Last up, I. Cut the wire if the position at the bottom is equal to the number of indicators. This is the 5th wire. We had 2 indicators. That is not a match. So we're not going to cut wires 1 and 5. We're going to cut 2, 3, 4, and 6, but we have to cut 2 first, and we have to cut 6 first. Well, obviously, we can't cut them both first, technically. But of all the wires we cut, those 2 must be done first, before 3 and 4 in this case. So as the expert, once I've done this little bit of a mess, I'm going to say, okay, cut 2, 6, 3, 4. So we're going to come over here and cut 2, 6, 3, 4. And that's a finished perplexing wires. There's a lot to that. So let's do it again. I'm actually going to go ahead and put little columns up here for the conditions. Red condition, orange condition, yellow, green, and blue. Yep. I'm going to drop this to the bottom here, and then the row numbers will be which wire I'm on. So, again, diffuser. We're going to ask them to read all the colors. We're not going to make them worry about which colors they're looking for. So the colors are blue, orange, green, yellow, black, red. Remember, we're reading them in order here at the bottom. Blue, orange, green, white, black, red. Uh, Typically, they'll go ahead and read. If you've got an experienced diffuser, they'll read you those colors, then they'll go ahead and give you the other information as well. So we'll come back to that part and its specifics. Orange, wire shaders is the same color of its arrow. They would look and they would say none match. So none of the orange conditions apply. Yellow condition, the wire's star is black. That's going to be these two, that would be 1 and 2. And this one, which is 6. So black star on 1, 2, and 6. They all have the black star, it's the yellow condition. The green condition, wire's position on the bottom is even. That's obviously 2, 4, and 6. And last up, the blue. The wire crosses another wire. You can see this green one here at 3 crosses over 5 and 6. The one at 4 does the same thing. 1 and 2 don't have any cross. So 3, 4, 5, 6 all cross. So we know those cross. And then let's go back to the red condition here. It's wire is red or yellow or blue or white. I don't have. So there are my wires. A couple matches, not a lot, so we're going to have to do a lot of lookups. So let's look up each row again. This is the red-yellow intersection. Red, yellow, down here with the main yellow. The Charlie, C. This one is yellow-green, green-yellow. That's an I. Blue only is a W. Red, green, blue. We need red, and then we add green, and then we add blue. That's an R. Just blue again is W. We already looked that one up. Red, yellow, green, blue. Red. That adds blue, that adds yellow, that adds green. H. Now the way I like to do this particular Venn diagram, because of the way it's shaped and colored, is I start at the edge. Like that one, I knew I needed red, yellow, green, blue. So I'm starting on the outside, go inside of red. We don't want to leave red, so don't cross a red again. Then we crossed a blue, so now we're in red and blue. Then we crossed a yellow, then we crossed a green, so we should be in all 4 of those colors because we haven't crossed out of them yet. Likewise, if I'd gone here and then crossed this one to blue, this one to green, this would obviously be red, blue, green, and then this one for orange, and now I'm in red, blue, green, orange, which I could have gotten to multiple different ways. If I go back out of the blue, then I know it's red, green, orange. Anytime you cross over a colored line, you're basically toggling whether or not you're inside that circle. Anyway, we have letters. Let's figure out what they mean. C means cut. I means cut if the position at the bottom equals number of indicators. 1 indicator, that is wire 2. Nope. W. W, cut the wire if more of the LEDs are on than off. Now that's something that only comes up on a couple of the letters, so a lot of people don't read that out. So we'll mark that as a conditional. 2 plus LEDs on, because there's always 3. R, Romeo. R is cut if the arrow direction is unique. Again, that's something we didn't ask about, so we'll conditionally ask about that if we need it. And then hotel, cut the wire if it shares a star with another wire. Okay, so we know one cut for sure, and then we've got some conditions to look at. So as the expert, I like to give the definitives, and then I'll prompt for the conditionals, and tell them, if this finishes it, let me know. So for this, I would say, okay, cut number 1, because 1 has to be a cut. Let me know if we let me know if we're done. Nope. All right. Let me know if we finish after any of these. Do you have more LEDs on than off. Do we have more LEDs on than off? Yes, yes we do. Cut 3, 5. Are we done? Oh, we are. That gets us through it. Now this is a tough one. So for your work on your own one, I'm going to leave it up, figure out how you would say it, and then solve it. Go ahead and pause the video here, get both parts of that done, and then I will be back with you with how I would read them, and then what answers I get. Alright, so for this one, let's clear out my notes from the last one. Let's get 6 lines worth, scroll them over. Colors are, here's how I'm going to read this as the diffuser. Colors are red, purple, purple, blue, blue, black. None match the color of the wire and the arrows. Black stars on 2 and 4. Three and 4 are the only 2 that cross this time. Only this purple and this blue cross. These don't cross because they go into the same hole. They can't cross. Likewise, these 2 can't cross. Likewise, this one doesn't have anything near it. So, we'll go ahead and mark the even-numbered ones. And we'll mark the ones that are colored based on the red rule. That would be reds, yellows, blues, or whites. And then we look up colors. Top one, red, I. Second one, yellow, green. Here's green, here's yellow, I. Alright. Blue only, W. Red, yellow, green, blue. Red, green, blue, yellow. H. Red only, I. Green only, M. We look them up. I is cut if the position at the bottom is equal to the number of indicators. I have 2 indicators, so that's going to be a no-go here and a no-go here. But here I do actually have a second wire. I have 2 indicators, so I'm going to cut this one. W is the conditional we've seen a few times. More LEDs on than off. H, cut if the wire shares a star with another wire. And M, I don't think we've seen before. That's if the arrow points down or right. So, we'll give them the one we know we need to cut. Go ahead and cut number 2. Tell me when we're done. More? Yes. So we know not to cut 1. Cut 3 if more LEDs are on than off. They are. Cut 4 if it shares a star with another wire. Here's 4. And yep, shares a star with number 2. Cut 6 if the arrow points down or right. The arrow does point down. And that's a perplexing wires. Now, interestingly, assuming you've got partway through it, you can sometimes gamble on that one because there's only 6 wires. So if you've got strikes to spare, you can sometimes get lucky, but it's never something to count on, especially if there's a cut first. That can really hurt you. Now, if you do say have a cut first and you error and cut something else, you'll get a strike for cutting this something else, not because it's wrong, but because you weren't supposed to do it yet. But it's still going to be cut once you cut the cut first one, so you don't have to recut it or anything like that. It'll just be prematurely cut. But that's really it for perplexing wires. So, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, or suggestions, please leave them down below, as always. And until next time, guys, have fun, and don't explode. Bye there.